Okay, I think we're live. Okay, hi guys, welcome. As you know, Father's Day is next weekend, so now is the perfect time to start making those gifts. And what we're going to make today is personalized golf balls. And we're also going to put together this box that you can put them in. This holds 3 golf balls. And I don't have this box ready quite yet up for sale, but it will be later today in my SVG shop on my website, Etsy, Design Bundles. It'll be all the places here by the end of today. So you'll be able to do that. And then we're going to customize these golf balls with some vinyl so that they are ready to rock and roll in a cute little display. So that's what we're going to work on today. So let's first jump into Silhouette Studio so we can see what we've got going on here. Okay, I have the golf ball gift box here pulled in, and then I already went ahead and wrote out some text to decide what I'm going to put on the golf balls. So as far as what's going on here, I can't decide on a font. And my dad is known by the name of Rooster. So I'm choosing the word rooster, maybe number 1 dad. I haven't quite sorted all that out. And then here's the gift box. So I thought we could just start by cutting out the gift box. And you can see I'm set up on the electrostatic mat. This piece we're going to cut out separate. And I am actually going to change this here. I have a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock that we're going to cut on. And I'm going to cut this on blue. So let's get this set up. I just have my machine set up as the Cameo 5. The feed type is auto using the electrostatic mat, and then my media size is 12 by 12, which is not normal for me, but I had a sheet laying around, so I figured we could use it. I'm in the version 5 of Silhouette Studio. I'm going to come over to standard, and then we're going to go by line color. I'm going to select both of these. The white lines I'm going to pull to come up to the top. We're going to make those a score. And then the cardstock here is going to be a cut. And I have not test cut this material, so I thought we could do that together as well. Everything here is set up. Let's get everything set up on the machine. Okay, this is my beautiful cardstock that I'm using. You could certainly do this. I was trying to see if I could find like a nice like golf themed digital paper that I could use, but I didn't really find anything that I was in love with, and it, very short notice. So I'm just gonna load that in. My blade's already there, and then let's go back to Silhouette Studio. And then the cool part here with this is they have a different test cut, and where did it go? I tell you, every time I get into this, something's different. Let me just, I'm not seeing it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just create my own little guy here. So what do I want to do? Let me pull this off right now. Let's just go back to design, and I'm going to create a box, and I'm going to put a circle in it. This is just my version of creating just a quick test cut, and it doesn't even need to be that big. I'm just going to center those together. And I'm just going to group this together so it'll stay together. I'm going to put it down here. Let's go back to the sun panel, And right now I just want to cut that red. We're going to do the 80-pound cardstock. I use a blade depth of 4. The rest of the settings are the same. And I'm just going to send that, and let's see how that works. So it should do that at the bottom corner there. And this will be our test cut. Okay, so our test is done. I'm just going to try to peel this out, and that lifted perfectly. Okay, cool. So those are going to be the right settings for us to use, which I don't know what brand, or I don't really know much about this blue cardstock that I had in my stash, but we are just going to go ahead and use it. Okay, back to Silhouette Studio here. Come back to design. I can delete that, and let's grab this back in. I can still put it over to the side so I can keep, actually let's pull it onto this side so we don't waste where that cut was at, where we did our test cut down here, so that way we can save the rest of this over here. Okay. We had already had all of this set up to score and to cut. Let's make sure that I like my score is on a 1. That's what I like to do. And then my cut is on a blade depth of 4. All of that looks great. We can go ahead and hit send. And then it's going to go ahead and do all that over there. While that's cutting, let me show you here, the box has an opening right here, and we're going to create the acetate piece that's going to go in this opening. And to create that, what I like to do is use laminator sheets. So I've got my laminator out here. We'll go ahead and turn it on. And it's been a while since I've demonstrated how I make these sheets, so I thought now would be the perfect opportunity. So I just take out a regular laminator sheet, and all the supplies I'm using is linked in the video if you're interested. They're all Amazon links, and using those links I do get a little bit of commission back from Amazon, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. But it's a great way to help support the channel with a little kickback to me. So I've got this here, and I've got it set for a 3-minute on there, and I'm just making sure this is the side here that opens. So you want to put the closed side. I like to put that in first. So I'm letting it heat up here. It'll tell us when it's ready. So I probably should have done that sooner, but we'll wait for that to be ready. In the meantime, we're done cutting. And we know we tested those cut settings, so we know we like those. We can go ahead and just peel everything off here. It can turn off that electricity. So welcome if you're just joining us. We are creating a gift box and some personalized golf clubs just in time for Father's Day. So what we've got here is the gift box. This will be available on my website before the end of the day here. Just kind of getting started. And then I'm cutting it out of just this blue. So we've got this. We can get rid of this guy here. And then let's go ahead and just put our little box together. I'll get you down here where you can see. So there's all of our score lines. I'm just going to go ahead and start by folding on all of my score lines. Got another one here, another one here. This one here, the small one, that is your glue tab to put the box together. Oh, and then that's as far as we're going to get because we need to put the lamination piece in there first. But all this is going to do is just glue the sides and then you'll glue the bottom. Okay, so that's as far as we can get on that. Still waiting for this guy to be ready. So let's go back to Silhouette Studio and work on the next part. So let's go back to design. Can move this off to the side here. I'm going to get rid of that for now. And then, like I said, I have some text here that I'm deciding on which font I want to use and what I want to do. The other thing we can do is go ahead and write some other things so that we can decorate our box as well. But let's look at what we have here. Okay, so here's an example of what our box looks like. And let me just open this up. We'll pull just one golf ball out here for now. So I just went through my stash of golf balls. These are all well-loved used golf balls that probably were found on the golf course. But you'll notice they all have kind of the front and the back has a logo. And then down one side they have some kind, this one has stars, usually there's a line, something that basically helps you know that this is the center of the ball. So we can put our logos or, you know, our designs on what I would call like the top and the bottom of the ball. You could decide to just do one, you could do both sides. For the sake of time, I'm probably just going to put on one side here, or you could even put it here and whoops, to go opposite of this, you could put something on this side as well. That's up to you where you want to put it. I'm probably just going to put it in this area here, but let's measure what that looks like. So I'm going to pull out my flexible measuring tape, you know, the kind you would use for sewing. And I never trust that this is actually 0, and I really, when you fold it right on that 1 inch mark, it's not quite perfect. So I always go from the 1 inch to the 2 inch, and that's what I use to measure. And that's my logos there and my other logos here. So I'm going to work on this area. And really, I'm probably going to stick with like maybe 1 1/4 inches long. And yeah, so 1 1/4 inches square is going to be the size that I think is going to work well. So let's go back to Silhouette Studio. Wrong button. There we go. So let's start. I don't know. Do you guys have a vote as to which font? 1, 2, 3, or 4 here? Go ahead and put that in the chat as to which font you like best, and then I'll tell you what font it is. Because I just couldn't decide. I think it's probably going to be better because these are going to be small to use something thinner, just because it's you do have to wonder how much extra, like, is the weight going to make a difference on the ball? I can't say that I've tested it. I'm a casual player, so would I even notice? I probably wouldn't. Would other people notice? Maybe. Will it affect the way the ball flies? Maybe. Should you balance it out and do both sides? Probably. Those are all things that would most likely make at least the ball a little bit more balanced, especially if you do it on both sides, because you do worry as that ball is flying through the air, if like you put your thing here, vinyl is not very heavy, but when we're talking about something you're trying to make fly across a field, that could make a little bit of difference. I'm personally not going to worry about it, but also knowing that, and that this is a very kind of curved. You see, you know, there's all those bumps and ridges on there. I think a thinner font is probably going to work best for this. So that's, I'm probably just going to end up picking this vanilla cream font. I don't know. Let's see what happens when we make these all. Let me just give myself a little, what did I say, 1 1/4. We're going to unlock. I'm going to do 1.25. And then that's the size of the area that we have to work with. So I'm just going to take each one of these and see what it looks like, how small it has to be to fit in that box. And then can decide from there which one of these I like best. Oh, we can make that a little bigger. Come on, guys, I need you to vote and help me decide which font. This is like the hardest part of everything, isn't it? It's figuring out the font. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. Here we go. So I made myself a little 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 square here, because that is the area that we have to use, and I'm just resizing all of the fonts to see how tiny and what it would look like in this area. And then I can decide, use that to help me decide what I think. That one needs to be just a smidge smaller. Okay, so that's how small they have to be to fit in there. Gosh, they're all so cute. All right, I'm going to do it. Executive decision. We're going to use this one, which is vanilla cream. I will make sure I get this link added later. I don't think I have it right away, but I'm going to do this one, and then number 1 dad. We can go ahead and throw that one in there as well. I think for these I'm just going to use rooster, and then I think we'll use this number 1 dad. We can put that to decorate our box. I think that's what I'm going to do. So we're just going to do this little rooster. And if you missed it before, this is my dad's nickname. He goes by Rooster. So that's what I'm going to use. And I'm just going to go ahead, and we need to weld our text together. So the modify panel and weld. And then I'm just going to hit make compound path. So you see right now we've got all of the letters that are welded together are 1. And then the R is kind of over there standing by itself. Let me zoom in here. So the other thing we could do, we could take this R, and I can use the arrow keys and scooch her on over, get it connected with, and then now I can grab both of these and I can hit weld again. And now we have one big long piece. And I like the way that looks. We've got 3 little guys here, so I'm just going to make 3, and then I'm going to end up using this box as a weeding box to make things a little bit easier. I can also shrink this, and we should actually probably put each one in its own weeding box. Let's be realistic. That's what we should be doing. So here, this is what we're gonna do. So let's see what we got going on here. Let's get back to the real world. Zoom her on out. Okay, and then I'm gonna make 3 copies of this. I think I can put it down here, and then I'm just gonna do 1. There we go. There's my 3 copies, and then to put on my box, let's look at our box. Let me close this back up here. So balls don't come flying out. Okay, there's not a lot of space on the front here, and I think I'm just going to leave that alone. But you've got 3 more sides on your box, and then the top and the bottom that you can write things on. So you could certainly just do all sorts of cool things on there. So I think I might just put number one dad, and I think I'm just going to put it on this top piece here, and I'm just going to leave the rest alone for now. Maybe I'll write a little personal message on the back or something, but I think I'm just going to put that on the top. So let's do that. So let's pull our little box out here. So I'm just going to work in this area here. I'm going to use that same font to keep everything looking cohesive. I'm just going to make sure it's going to fit on there. Or instead of doing number one dad, what have I seen? We could do, what is it, like above, not above par, below, I guess it would be above par or par. I saw something, I should have wrote it down. I wasn't thinking about it, so I'm just going to do number one dad. And you could make it really small and put it right here on those sides if you wanted, or wherever you want. I'm just going to put it right there. Now I know that that is the correct size. That'll fit there. Let's go ahead and give this its own weeding box as well. These weeding boxes, the reason I use them is because they help. So when I pull out a big sheet of not cardstock. Hello, what are we using today? We are using vinyl for this part. When I pull out a big chunk of vinyl with the weeding box, I don't need to cut all of my little pieces of vinyl. I can just do this as one big piece. So now the problem is if I do it this way, now we have all weeding boxes together. So you can do it that way. If you were going to do it that way, then I would tell you to just use one big weeding box. I keep going back and forth about what I'm doing. So I am just going to do one big weeding box, and then we can just cut those. Sorry guys, I'm a little, whoops. Let's Control Z, let's ungroup. I'm a little indecisive today. Been working on this project this morning, so I'm not as polished as I normally am with these projects. Okay, I think that's gonna look great just like that. We're cutting everything out of vinyl, and that's gonna work right there. So we're gonna use the electrostatic mat. There's nothing else we need to change on that. I'm gonna come over to the sun panel. And if I unclick, actually this one we're just going to come to the standard so I don't have to worry about it, and it's going to cut out all of those pieces and cut out that weeding box. We are going to be using vinyl. This is Oracal 651 adhesive. I like to turn that blade depth up to 2. And I think I'm going to turn, these are small, so I'm going to turn that blade, not the force, Christy. Leave the force alone. The speed I'm going to turn down to 3. Okay. That's what I like to use. Let's go ahead and get our vinyl set up. Okay. I got my black piece of vinyl here, and boy, it has got all sorts of dust and debris on here. That'll a little clean off. And then I'm just going to put it down the side here. Oop, come on. Hold on. Make that get suctioned on down on my mat. Everything looks good. It'll come right down to that bottom edge. That should be fine. We'll go ahead and load this in. Let me move that out of the way. And then all I'm going to do is hit send on the machine. And then it can go ahead and start cutting that out. Okay. While that's cutting, we have the green light here on our laminator. Again, we're going to put the solid side together, the openings at the bottom. And then I'm just going to go ahead and, oh, that's the out. Okay, it's been a while since I've used my laminator that I'm like, you want me to do this how now? Okay, so I'm doing the closed side goes in first. Do I even remember how to do this? Oh, there. Okay, it just took it. And then here it comes out. It's coming out on the side. I tell you, one sheet of lamination paper really gets me a long ways. So I don't do this very often, and I think the last time I did this, I probably did a couple of sheets at the same time, so I haven't had to make any more in a while. And I don't laminate a lot of other things, so we don't do this much. So again, if you're just joining us, hello. We are working on creating a little Father's Day gift with some personalized golf balls and then a little box for them to live in. And then this is the clear acetate that we're going to use to put in the opening. And we're just cutting some vinyl over here. That's all done. And the cool thing is I know these settings are good. So I'm just going to go ahead and unload. I'm going to peel this off of here. And then I'm done with my laminator. We can turn that off, let that sit there and cool down. And it's a little bit wrinkly. We'll see how this works here. Is that going to hold it? No, it is not going to hold it. Okay, we're going to have to pull out the disconnect this. We're going to have to, ooh, that didn't sound good. We're going to have to pull out the sticky mat. I got my sticky mat here. It's fun when you do 10 things at once, isn't it? Cut this, halfway finish this, do that. We'll get it all done. All right, just getting this stuck on down here. Okay, and then we can go ahead and load this in. And it's been so long, I also, let's see if I can sort out what settings to use on that. Because I don't, a little further, don't have them written down. Design. I'm going to just group this and move it off of here. We're going to now change our cutting mat to Cameo, which is your normal sticky mat. Media size is letter. And let's zoom back to normal so we can see. All right, so there's our sticky mat ready to rock and roll. We're cutting this piece out of that acetate. And I just like to cut everything down here at the bottom. That right there should work. So let's go to send. We're going to stay on the standard. And then for settings here, let me, I think there is some kind of plastic acetate. Yeah, acetate sheets thin. Let's try that. We're going to have to do some test cuts. Oh, here we go. See, it is, maybe it's only on the standard. Hang on, now I'm confused. Yep, it's only on the standard where you can generate test shapes. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to put that test shape way down here in the corner. And for right now, I'm going to tell it to ignore this. So I selected this one and I'm going to say ignore because I just want to do that test cut. And we're going to test with this regular 2 passes of blade of 10 for these acetate thin sheets. Let's just test it out. Everything's loaded in. We're going to go ahead and hit send. And it just reminds you, and we'll hit send. And then we'll see what our test cut looks like. Whoa. Get this out of the way. Well, how are you guys doing? It is super hot here today. So I'm happy to be crafting inside because it is like a high of like 95 today. And I'm just going to lift this piece out. So it looks like it lifts out just fine. It did cut out. Yep. Okay. I know you probably can't see this, but I've got the cutout piece and then the little triangle inside. It cut it fine. So those are going to be good settings. So I'm going to leave it loaded in. Notice I left it loaded while we did that test. So now we can come back to Silhouette Studio. And I'm going to hit ignore that. And then we're going to select our blue piece and then use tool 1. We're going to use those same settings. And then I'm just going to hit send. And then it's going to go ahead and cut that out. That's the last piece that we need for that. This is my protective sheet. Okay. Let's start weeding this stuff out, shall we? A little easier for you to see way down here. Boy, this is so tiny. I think I'm gonna just peel out this big weeding box first, maybe. This one might be better to reverse weed. So what I'm gonna do is I've got this clear acetate. Not acetate, clear transfer tape that I've been trialing here for a while, and I think I do like it. Okay, we're just gonna cut. Scissors would be nice. Okay, just gonna cut a little piece here to match. I think that's about right. Might still be too big. I'm trying to cut it to fit inside my weeding box. Yikes. But not go over my weeding box like I just did, because then that kind of defeats the purpose of a weeding box if it takes everything out with it. So now let me just see. That should be pretty good right there. Is this how you guys craft at home? Like normally when I'm crafting and nobody's watching, I am absolutely doing this where I'm like, let me weed this out while this part is cutting, and then let me move on to the next piece while this piece is cutting. And to me, it's just a little bit more efficient doing it this way, but you also really got to pay attention to what's going on. It's easier for me to do this when I'm not having to talk through it, to be doing all these multi-steps. All right, so I'm just put my transfer tape on. We're gonna peel up that entire little box. I'm just gonna peel up nice and slow. You can see what I'm doing. Get all that peeled. I know these are good settings, so I wasn't super worried about doing test cut. Okay, and then we're just gonna do a little reverse weed. Can you see? You can see the lines on there. It's definitely easier to see them in person, but I'm just gonna come in now and I don't know. I haven't decided if I think the reverse weeding is easier. I think for small projects, it's smarter. Whether it's easier to reverse weed, jury's still out on that, but I think it's harder because it sticks better to the transfer tape. In that respect, I think it's harder, but I think it's easier also because it does that. Does that make sense? Probably not. It made sense in my head. So I am going to come through here and just try to weed this out. I don't know. I don't know if it's easier now to peel the big chunk first. Let's see. Let's see. So I have a little piece of the transfer right here that's bigger. So let me just see if I can't get that corner to peel up. So I've been doing my nails at home with, you know, like acrylic nails. Not acrylic, gel. And I tell you what, I find it really, well, I'm not very good at it, first of all. Let's just start there. So I do find it hard to craft with fake nails, and I just broke a couple of them while I was doing some yard work, so I just cut them all off. So now I don't have any nails to help me do anything. Okay, this seems to be working. Oh, but I'm tearing instead of doing what I want it to do. All right. So let me get this whole side peeled up here. Yeah, this actually does seem to be working a lot better. Yay! Love when something works out like you want it to. Doesn't always happen that way, you know? Okay, bear with me. So, are you gonna try to make some golf balls? Let me know in the comments. I think this is a fun. I've never done this before. I'm definitely gonna be making myself some, you know, later off camera. Probably with like a little butterfly or something, maybe a little ladybug. I used to have some golf balls that had ladybugs on them. I got them on a garage sale, and I don't know if somebody bought them that way or had them made that way or how that works. But I did like them. So the other way that I've researched on how to create these golf balls would be to do a water slide. From everything I'm reading to understand is that you could not sublimate these golf balls because the heat and then the finish on them is not necessarily polyester. So I thought that would be really fun to do these as infusible ink, but turns out that that's not a thing. And then professionally, some of the videos I've seen, it looks like they're getting rid of the finish and then lasering and then reapplying the clear finish on the ball. So that sounds like a lot of work to try to do it, but I thought, you know, this is the easiest and cheapest way to do it is going to be with vinyl. And this transfer tape has got a good stick to it, which also makes this a little bit harder to do. But harder in a good way. There we go. I can't say that I've done a ton of reverse weeding. Well, first of all, I don't do a lot of vinyl projects. I mean, I do them, but they're definitely, I do a lot more cardstock projects. But this reverse weeding, the more I use it, the more I'm like, why have I not been doing this more often? Because it is a little bit time consuming doing this, but then it's like the transfer tape's already on there. I don't know, in a way it's kind of easier. So this T right here is having a problem. So you see I like to trim away the extra before I goof something else up. And then I'm just gonna toss that. All right, let's see here with this T. Seems like maybe this is an extra piece that got laid on that T. Okay, that's not going to be a good place to try to pull. Let's see about the rest of this. If I can at least get one of these, that would be good. Oh, that's That's my R. I can't tell what letter that is. That's supposed to be my R. Great, okay. Excuse me. All right. What I think I'm going to do, you do not need to sit here and watch me struggle so hard. So I'm just going to do these two right here. The number one dad we're going to put on the box. And I thought it would be fun to do it in vinyl and with the same font to just give that good cohesive look. And it's a lot easier to weed out vinyl than it is to try to do this in cardstock and then try to do such a thin piece on the cardstock. That's really not easy to do. Boy, this center does not want to come out. It's like I can't get enough leverage to hold the rest of this in place to pull this out. You guys are so quiet. Get in the chat. Say hi. Let me know you're paying attention. Tell me what you're going to put on your golf balls. Or is the dad in your life not a golfer? What are you going to create for Father's Day? My dad is a casual golfer. He's the reason I got into it. So it's always fun when we visit. Try to take him, last year we went on a big trip to Canada and we did go golfing for a day. That trip was fun because it was with quite a few of my aunts and uncles, my grandpa, and it was cool to go golfing with everybody. My grandpa is a kick-butt golfer. One day I would love to be as good of a golfer as he is, but I definitely don't have quite the amount of time to dedicate to it that he does. I'll be lucky if I can get out and make time to golf. Ideally, 3 or 4 times this summer would be great. Okay, this is definitely a bit of a struggle, and I'm sorry you gotta sit there and watch me struggle. So let's see what happens if we kind of fold this. That makes it a little bit easier to pick out some of these little sections in here. So it's fun to try to do this and then not touch the part of the vinyl that's actually going to stick to anything. Ideally, you're not touching it, but doesn't always work out that way. See, if I was really smart, I would have done some of this off screen and then just magically be like, hey, here it is. It's all weeded out. Oh my gosh, come on, you little stinking piece. Come off of there. Got it. Okay, one more little O, and then we'll have something to work with. So I just am bending this transfer tape to get to a corner of this little guy to be able to peel it off of there. And I don't have any fingernails to get that off. Great. Come on. Last little piece. Got it. Okay. So we have one of our pieces for a golf ball, and then we have one piece for the outside here. I'm going to go ahead and just cut these in half. All right, so this one here says number one dad, and I'm going to put that, you get to decide which one of these is the top. I'm going to use this as the top. So then when you look at it, it'll look at it this way. I'm just going to try to center this on here-ish. And then I'm just going to try to be careful because this transfer tape's probably a little bit too sticky on this cardstock. So I'm just scraping over the letters and trying not to press down anywhere else on that transfer tape. And now the moment of truth. Let's see if we can lift that transfer tape and leave the vinyl. All right, so if you're just joining us, we are making a little Father's Day gift with some custom golf balls and then putting it in a little container here that will hold 3 golf balls. Why 3? Well, because when you buy a big thing of golf balls, usually it has multiple little packages of just 3 inside there. And like when you buy the colored ones, then you get like, here's a multicolored pack. So maybe you'll get like 4 packs of 3 and each little pack of 3 is different colors. And I don't know, is that supposed to mean that like you should be able to make it 18 holes with 3 balls? Ooh. If there's a water feature, I'm definitely not going to be able to do that. That's what I strive for, is to, you know, at the end, it's always not only is it to see who won with the least amount of strokes, but also who has the most balls left, or, you know, lost the least amount of balls. Okay, look at that. We got that one done. All right. And then let's go ahead and grab our piece of transfer here. All right, a little piece of acetate that did cut through. Looks good. I just need this. I'm just going to leave that there. Got my piece of acetate. And then with the acetate, the cool thing is it's going to be inside your box, so no one's going to notice it, which is great. Let me try to move all this out of my way so you can see what we're working on. And then to do the acetate, I need some double-sided tape. Where have I put my double-sided tape? That is the question. Oh, I guess I don't have any sitting here. Let me see. All right, how you guys doing? Are you following along okay? I have to find some double-sided tape, which I don't know where the heck I put it all. Well, I'm not sure where my double-sided tape is, so I'm just going to use tape runner, and I'm not even going to worry about it. Because again, it's on the inside, and that should do the trick. And where's my tape runner? Oh my gosh, you guys. It's time to clean my craft room. I have stuff everywhere, and yet not where it needs to be. Do you know how that goes? And because today is going to be like 1,000,000 degrees out, and by 1,000,000 I mean it's only 90. Here's some tape runner. Might be the perfect day to spend some time in here cleaning. Okay, sorry about that. Found my tape runner. So this is Tombow Mono Permanent Adhesive. And this piece here is going just inside this window, and you can see where it's going to fit. Now, this tape runner is probably going to be, it's going to be too wide to put around there, but I'm just going to make do. So I'm just going to run it kind of like halfway on the table, halfway on the cardstock. Let's see if I can't get a straight line. What is happening? Rolling it backwards doesn't really help either, huh? Well, that's the right way. There we go. Okay, can you see that little line of it there? We'll clean the desk off when we're done. But just have to keep moving it so I'm not getting stickiness anywhere else. And then you can usually just take your finger and it'll ball right up. Move that out of the way. Okay, so now I've got that adhesive just kind of all the way around, but just barely sticking out. So the thing is though, now you get one try. So I'm just gonna eyeball where this is supposed to go. Again, no one's gonna see it. You just wanna make sure the whole opening is covered. And that's on the inside. We can flip it over. Everything looks good here. If you need to clean up those edges, you can, it does a pretty good job with your finger, or if you have like a glue eraser, this would be a good place to bring that in to clean all that up. All right, now let's put our box together. So this is the great part. It's so easy. We're gonna fold this down. I like to bring in, for this, I like to use my liquid glue. And I'm just gonna do a line of glue on this glue tab. Okay. And then we're just gonna fold this piece over. Because it's a nice box, everything's going to just go the right way. It'll be nice and flush. When that's good, you're gonna fold it the other direction and then just keep pressing on that line. Okay, now you have a box. Okay, that's on the outside of the box. I can clean that later. And then for the bottom of the box, I am gonna glue this closed. So I'm going to come in here on these flaps, put a little bit of glue, and then I'm going to also put a little bit of glue on this tab right here. The bottom and the top of the box are exactly the same, so you get to decide which is the bottom and which is the top. And I'm just going to tuck that in there, nice and flush, and then you can just press that down. You've got something tall you can stick in there to press that down. That's not quite tall enough. Let me pull up my ruler here. Sometimes it's nice to get in there with a ruler and you can just kind of slide it across the bottom there and then press that really well. You can lay it on down this way and get that other lip. And then I also like to just kind of, sorry that was loud, throw that ball in there, roll it around a little bit, let it help weigh that down. Okay, our box is made. We got that cute little #1 dad on the top. This is just, well actually I don't know that, because I don't know what kind of cardstock I used. It used the normal settings that I always use, so I imagine this is probably 65-pound cardstock, and it's going to hold up just fine. Okay, that part's done. Now on to the real business of why we're here, right? Let's go ahead and make our golf ball. So I'm only going to do one of them with you, so let me just put 2 of these in here, and then we'll just make this one because I only have one that was really weeded well. Okay, remember we decided you've got the logo here, you've got a logo here. You can either do across from this one on the side here, you can do top and bottom. We decided I'm just going to do one, and I'm going to do it on the top, and I'm going to try to not spray this on anything. So off to the side, I just spritzed with some rubbing alcohol, and I'm coming in with a lint-free cloth to really clean all of that off. Okay, that looks good. And now, do I have something to hold this? Actually, I think it'll probably hold better in this pair of scissors. And I'm just going to hold it so I can see. So here's my one logo. I know my other one's over here. And remember we decided 1 1/4 square is how this is going to work. And I'm just going to apply that right on here. And knowing you're on a curved surface, it's going to be, and a bumpy, not just curved, a bumpy curved surface. I'm really just going to come in here with my finger, press that down really hard. And then I'm going to just try to, it's like this transfer tape doesn't want to stick really well. I'm going to try to come in with my scraper. See if I can't scrape over those letters. We'll probably have to do a little bit of really extra sticking those letters to the right spots when we peel that transfer tape off. But this is more just to see if we can't get it stuck down. Take your time. This is the most important part of it, is just getting it all stuck down. And then when you're ready, we're going to slowly peel back that transfer tape. It didn't stick. Come on. Come on, baby. Stick on down. And it's hard because these are very, very thin letters, but we did it thin on purpose because of all the grooves and the fact that you don't want to add too much extra weight on your ball here. So we chose a really thin font for that purpose. This is Vanilla Cream font, and I will get a link added to the description for this font when we're done here. But all the supplies I'm using today is in the description box. Those are all with links to Amazon for the different products I'm using, and I would love for you to use my links to grab those products if you need them, because doing that gives me a little kickback from Amazon to help support the channel, and it doesn't cost you anything extra other than clicking on that link. And Amazon pays me a couple cents, so that just really helps support the channel, and I'd really appreciate it if you could do that for me. Okay, that's pressed on there pretty well. Let this sit for a good 48 hours, just like that's what I recommend for anything that is permanent vinyl. Let it kind of cure before you would show this to the elements, I guess. But everything there looks really good and weighed down. Oh, the rest of these balls fell out of here. So let's put this one in the center. And the cool thing is then you can turn these so they look, so you can see the name on there. And then you can close up your box. Oh, that side closed up a little bit too well. That's okay. But look at that. Look how cute that is. And then, decorate your box however you want. But oh my gosh, what a great, great gift. So, okay guys, we got it done in record time. And it rolled, so it's hard to see, but there's our golf ball with the vinyl on there in the cute little package. And then again, we decorated it. You can certainly add some more decoration to this. I don't quite have the box up yet, but I will get that added to all the places, and I'll leave a link to this on my website. I will leave that in the description when it's ready later today. And make sure you go ahead and like this video so I know that you like seeing this stuff. Oh, and Jay says you could print and cut the cardstock. Yes, you could. I was searching for some golf themed digital papers. I didn't see anything that I loved. maybe I'll go back and create one and turn this into a really nice print and cut project, and maybe I'll list it that way. We'll see. But yeah, you certainly could. This is small enough that you could definitely do this as a print and cut. The 3 balls in there. I'm going to ship this to my dad, and I think he's really going to love it. I'm probably going to throw a couple teas in there too, just to finish it off, and then in a little package with a card. But again, I think this is probably 65-pound cardstock. I know my little test one that I did here is Nina White 100-pound cardstock, and this holds up really well. This one is maybe not as sturdy, but it's holding up just fine. Especially, this is a box to present it in. Most likely the balls are not staying in this box for long. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me for this little Father's Day craft today. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.